everybody, my name is Jonathan and welcome to Barely Unboxed. Today I'm doing a kind of rapid fire Marvel Legends unboxing and review for a bunch of figures that I've just had a while and a couple new ones that I picked up recently. These are figures that I've been meaning to open and I just never got around to it, especially this Ghost Rider one. He's been here for well over a year. I had him, I think he was in my October intro image from last year because I meant to open him up around Halloween time because I thought that would be very fitting and never got around to it. So, anyway, also, this is my 1 year anniversary channel birthday video. So my very first video I ever did was a year ago, and at the end of August I put up this video where it was a Marvel Legends video. It was my first time uploading a video. It obviously didn't do very well. It didn't get a lot of views, but I'm very proud that I did that video because it got me on the path of making videos to put up for toy unboxings, and I've had so much fun this past year just making all kinds of videos of all sorts of various toys, because I don't just collect one thing, I have to collect it all apparently. But I love so many different types of toys, and I want to thank everybody for all your support throughout the entire year, from my humble beginnings with my very first video, and I just thank you so much. I'm very, very appreciative of all the support. I love all the comments that I get, and it's just been so much fun to get to know people and to meet new people. I'm just, it's I don't know what to say. It's very overwhelming at times, but very satisfying as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. And so today we are going to be taking a look at quite a few figures. We have 6 figures total. This one is a 2-pack. So let's start with Ghost Rider. So Ghost Rider has always been kind of one of those characters that I've never really read a lot of the comics, but I appreciate the character so much, and I do have a few comics from like the 90s, back when I used to really collect comic books. When I really got into X-Men, I started reading comics outside of X-Men sometimes, especially when they tied in with X-Men continuity or stories. And Ghost Rider is always one of those figures that I thought was really cool and also kind of silly. I don't know. It's just like the whole motorcycle vibe. It's kind of cool, but also kind of weird, and I love that. I love quirky, weird superhero stuff. All right, so this is like the retro packaging for him. So it kind of is supposed to call back to some older Toy Biz action figures that Toy Biz came out with, and these are all Hasbro figures that we're looking at today. Here's the barcode for this one. I don't know if this one's even available. I will do some searching to see if I can find a link for him. Probably Amazon, most likely. So if you're looking for this one, there will be a link down there. Now, they did release just recently a combo of him and his motorcycle, and it's a newer version of the figure, and it's amazing looking. And my friend actually picked it up, and he just got it recently, and so I kind of wish I had it, but I don't know if I have the room for a motorcycle in my action figure display. All right, so let's take a look at this. I love how it calls out the flame chain, and it does have like a little blurb in multiple languages on the back. So if you want to pause to read that, you can. Alright, so the packaging on these figures, unlike these boxed ones or like the normal Marvel Legends, is once you open this, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and open this up. Alright, we got Ghost Rider out of his packaging. And here's what he looks like. I haven't tried moving any of his joints yet. This is just how he was in the packaging. The sculpt on this is really, really well done. This is one of the older ones. So it does have the pins. They've been trying to get away from pins, doing a lot of pinless joints on figures. And this is just really cool, though. I don't mind the pins that much, to be honest. All right, so as far as articulation goes, his head is on a ball joint, and his jaw can open up and down. So that's pretty cool. I love that. And then he has a chest joint that goes back and forth, and it does click. So it has kind of like set spots. He also has the ball jointed shoulder that goes around and up and down. It kind of has like a, I don't know what you call, like a ratchet feeling to it as well. He has a bicep. He has double jointed elbows, and he has the hand articulation, and the hands move up and down and can be removed because he does come with alternate hands, which we will look at here eventually. And then for the waist, it does turn, and he has the joint on his upper thigh and the leg and the double jointed knees. And I think the boot does not spin. Doesn't seem like it does, but the bottom foot does turn and go up and down. So lots of range of motion for this figure. You can get some really cool poses. So he comes with this really cool flaming chain, and even the chain down here, it's like translucent. It's really cool. And then they've painted silver along this part. So he can hold that. He has a gripping hand to hold the chain. He also came with these flame effects, which these are a standard accessory that you see a lot, and molded in different colors depending on who the figure is that's getting it. And these kind of just wrap around the wrist like that, and you can put it either way and you can get different kind of looks with it. So that's pretty cool. You can put it on both sides. Let's put this one on the other way so you can see what I mean. If I can get it on. Jeez. So there's that flame around the hand. It's pretty cool. I love that if I turn his head to the side, you can see he has the bone neck, but it goes down into like translucent flames. And I love the way they did the gradient of flames on the head. It's really cool. What would have been even cooler is if the eyes were hollow and hollow all the way through, and you could shine light in this flame and make his eyes light up. I love that old school toy gimmick. There was a lot of figures that did that. Transformers still do that, I think. I know they used to quite a bit, at least in the collection that I have of them. So as far as Ghost Rider figures go, this is my first one that I've ever owned of him, and it's probably the epitome of Ghost Rider, at least to me. It's pretty awesome. Now, he also comes with an alternate head where it's him transforming from his human version, and his hair, you can still see some of his hair, and it's turning on fire. It's really cool. I believe this is the Johnny Blaze version of Ghost Rider. I don't think it said that on the back, but let's see. It does not. It just says the Spirit of Vengeance Ghost Rider. So I'm assuming this is the Johnny Blaze version because that's usually the one that has the motorcycle outfit and everything. So the heads do pop off really easily, and then you can put this alternate head on him. And he still has the bone neck, which is kind of interesting. So he's like mid-transformation. And then the hands also come off. And so far, this figure has been very kind to me. Sometimes when I'm trying to remove things and show these on camera, they just do not want to work. Alright, so bone hands. He has really cool looking bone hands with the flame on them, and the flame that matches the whole gradient of flame on his head. So that's pretty cool, but I think... Oh, and he can hold the whip in that one bone hand, which is really cool. But I think I actually obviously prefer the skull head. But being a Marvel collector, Marvel Legends collector as I am, I actually have this other skull head, and I wanted to kind of look at this and see if it fits on this figure. This actually came with the X-Men Magic figure, and I was always kind of like, why did she come with this? I guess because, you know, she's got the whole demon thing going on. But that's what this head looks like. It's translucent, and I believe it looks like it's the exact same sculpt as this one that came with the figure. Even the flames are the same sculpt. So this should fit on here, and I kind of want to see what that looks like. I think it'll be cool. Okay, yeah. That's pretty cool. So there's what that looks like. Pretty cool. I'm glad that actually fits. But I am going to put the original head back on him for the time being. And that's probably how I'm going to display him, with the bone hands and the flaming skull head. And then obviously the chain. So very cool. And you can even put these flames around his arms. I love when figures come with accessories. This figure is an older one, and lately a lot of Marvel Legends figures just are not coming with the same amount of accessories that we're used to seeing. The older ones come with. It's really disappointing. They're kind of getting away from that. I like it when you get alternate heads. But yeah, there's this with the flames and the flaming hand all together. Pretty cool. So that's probably how I will display this figure with my collection. Alright, so next I would like to take a look at this Loki figure. So I picked this up at Ross, and you can see I only paid $5.99, and it says comparable price is $15, but I feel like this would have been more than $15 when it originally came out. So this is like original Loki, and the packaging looks very old school, action figure packaging from like the 80s. I love this when they do this kind of stuff. Here's his barcode. This one's an older figure. I picked this up at Ross months and months ago, and it does have multiple languages, so if you want to read that, you can pause the video. Now, this is like OG Loki, where he has the blonde hair and the like kind of leotard with the scaly stuff on it, and he comes with twin daggers. It calls that out here. Very cool. I love old school comic book designs, so let's get him out and take a look at him. Alright, so here is Loki right out of his packaging. He's very scowly. I love that scowl. I love it. He has the blonde hair. That is not movable. I thought maybe it would be posable, but it isn't. The scales continue around to the back, so that's really cool. I like this neck piece, which is removable if you take the head off. So now, as far as articulation goes, it looks like he pretty much has all the same articulation as Ghost Rider. His head actually can move up pretty far. So that's kind of interesting. I'm not sure. A lot of the times they reuse bodies for Hasbro's Marvel Legends figures. And that makes it so they can repaint them or resculpt or remold them in different colors and create all kinds of new characters. And I appreciate that about the Marvel Legends figures. It makes it really easy to come out with different versions. But it also makes it so they can reissue figures. Sometimes they reissue the same figure in slightly various different iterations. But yeah, he has all the same articulation as Ghost Rider, except for he has elbows that do a double joint. Ghost Riders did too. His just weren't very noticeable with the black plastic. Now his boots do turn, unlike Ghost Rider's, so there's that. So very cool. And then he comes with the twin daggers. This is like really old school original Loki, instead of the newer one that's been very, very different and very Tom Hiddleston and inspired from the MCU. So there is him with the daggers. Now let's try on. He does have this alternate head where he looks super evil. And that's probably the one that I'll use to display him, because as much as I love this scowl, this signature Loki scowl, I think this grin is even better. Because Loki is a trickster and it just fits him so well. I can show you this part right here does come off. So it's not attached other than just the head keeping it on. Alright, so we finally got that head on. It just took a little effort. It was a little bit of a tight joint, or I should say the space to get it on the peg was very tight. But I got it on. I love it. He looks pretty cool. So here he is next to Ghost Rider. So they're kind of the same height as a lot of Marvel Legends tend to be, although they do have different size bodies, and that leads us into She-Hulk. So this is a newer figure, and these are calling back to the days of the Iron Man cartoon. And this packaging is reminiscent of the Iron Man Toy Biz figures that came out during the 90s when this Iron Man cartoon was on TV. Here's her barcode. I found this at Target a few weeks ago, and I've been seeing them at Walmart as well. I've only seen her the one time, and I picked her up as soon as I saw her because I really wanted this version of She-Hulk. I don't have a She-Hulk in my collection. I was waiting for this version to come out, and they finally released one, because this is the John Byrne She-Hulk. He did such a great job portraying this version, or just in general portraying She-Hulk, and I appreciate it so much seeing it in figure form. The hair even looks exactly like it did in the comic book. I'll even put a comparison shot here so you can kind of see what I was talking about. Her bio is very hard to read. It's very small print, so I don't know if you can pause the video, you can read that. But this is Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk. So, alright, let's get her out of here. Alright, and here is She-Hulk right out of her packaging. They did such a good job on this face, too. Oh my gosh. The details, her teeth even have lines in them. Oh wow. And then here's her beautiful hair. I love the way they did this, so it looks like the comic book. The plastic on her feels really soft. What's a better word? Not soft, but it feels very satin is the word I'm looking for, compared to these other figures. But it's still very sturdy. It just feels actually really soft and nice to touch. I don't know how to explain it. All right, so she looks amazing. I love her purple leotard, and her boots also spin like Loki's. Now she has the pinless joints, as you can see, and has the double jointed knee, and then the feet do the same as the other two figures, and she also has the double jointed elbows, and they are also pinless. And these hands are sculpted so well. Just, oh wow, I'm totally loving this figure. And the way they did her hair, she still has pretty good range of motion, so you can give her some pretty good poses. I love that. So she comes with this gun that she's bending. So it's looks like she's breaking it. So that just goes in her hands like this. So it looks like she's bending it. It's very cool. And then she also comes with alternate fist hands, which if they wouldn't have given her fist hands, that would have been really weird, considering this is She-Hulk and she punches things. It's kind of her whole thing. So there's one of the fists on that hand. So that's pretty cool. That's probably how I'll pose her with at least the one fist. Probably like that. That looks amazing to me. Now, let's see how she compares next to this Loki figure. Loki, your leg is so messed up. All right. There we go. So you can see she is much taller than he is. So that's really cool. It's a lot of hair making her taller, but in general, the figure just looks a lot chunkier and bigger. I love it. Next, we're going to take a look at this Marvel Legends Angel figure. Now, I ordered this online, and if I would have picked this out, I would have picked a better painted version. Some of the paint on the heads is a little weird looking to me. I'm not a big fan of the way they did the faces that come with this. Usually there's one face that I prefer over the other. I think it might be the smiling one. I don't know. The lips look like they're just not colored correctly. If you look at the artwork, the lips are on here look a lot better. Here's the back. You can read this blurb, and again, it's in multiple languages. And this is like before he was made into the Horseman of Apocalypse within the comic books. This is like old school Angel. Now, I do have the Apocalypse version of him, like when he was changed into one of the Horsemen. He was the Horseman of Death, I believe. And I wanted to compare these two. So I brought him over from my collection. And here is his barcode. I did say I ordered this online. I will put links to this one as well. I'll try to put links to all of these figures if I can. All right, so let's get him out of the packaging. All right, and here he is right out of the packaging. You do have to assemble the wings, but I wanted to show what he looked like without the wings so you could kind of see what the paint detail looks like. And he also has the pinless joints like She-Hulk does. And he has all the same articulation that the She-Hulk figure had too. Because he even has... he does have slightly different ab crunch than she does. He kind of has the same ab crunch as like Loki does. It looks exactly the same actually. So, alright, so his wings are really nicely done. They're really detailed, and they have like 3 parts to them to make that look like they're extending, and you can keep them at any angle, really. Like there's multiple ways you could pose the wings even. And these just peg in to his back. Alright, and here he is with the wings. He has a very impressive wingspan. So that looks really cool. The wings are actually fairly lightweight, but I think you're still going to have a hard time getting him to stand, but let's try. Wow, okay, so he does stand on his own even with them extended, so that is really cool. And then you can kind of also pose them to where the wings can help him stand up. So that's really cool too. That's kind of what I was doing with him until I got him this stand to make it look like he's flying. So I wanted to kind of just look at this figure in comparison. So let's get him off the stand. So his wings, they actually have just joints to them where they like fold. And then the backs also fold back and forth. And the wings, I don't think they're not going to be able to be interchangeable the way that they did these wings on this Archangel. So his name became Archangel after he was changed by Apocalypse. And then he became good again, and that's when he took the name Archangel. So this is one of my favorite figures that I have. But now that I have this one, he might be the one that goes on display for a while instead of him. I might try to add him to my villain section. So the really cool thing is his head does pose in a way where you can make it look like he's flying. So that's pretty cool. So you could even use the stand. In fact, let's just borrow the stand for a while. And we'll try to get him to look like he's flying. I got him on the stand to make it look like he's flying, and you can definitely pose that differently if you wanted to. It's a little awkward, but it still looks pretty cool, especially from like the front. Love it. Alright, so this particular stand I am using I found at Target, and I have one still in the box. They are made by NECA. It's called a dynamic figure stand. It even comes with a suction cup, so you can put it on something like a window or a side of a glass case. Like I have my Marvel Legends figures in a IKEA glass case. So there's the barcode for that if you're interested. Yeah, I just picked that up. It's in like the collectible area at Target. Alright, so let's put that off to the side and let's take a look at his other accessories that he came with. So he did come with this alternate head, which, let me take this other one off and then we can look at them side by side a lot easier. So they have the same hair for the most part, it looks like. And then the faces, I don't know, just both these faces to me are really weird looking. I don't know what it is. But we are going to try the other head on him. Alright. So there's the other head on him. So that one I probably do like better than the one that came on him. Came displayed on him. So he also comes with hands that are slightly different. Slightly different poses for each one. I like the pose on this hand. It's very, very cool looking. And then obviously, you just pop the hands out and put the new ones in. So very cool. I like that hand. I love posed hands like that. So I did want to try something with this figure because I remember a comic from the 90s. I think it was an Uncanny X-Men comic. I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but the cover artwork was done by Joe Madureira, one of my favorite comic book artists ever. And it was Angel with his wings grown back, but he still had the blue skin. So I actually have this alternate head that came with that other Archangel figure with the blue face. And I want to try seeing if this head will work on this body, because I like this head a lot better. Oh, it does work. Okay. That's pretty cool. That might be how I display this figure, because that was always one of my favorite comics, is when he had the metal wings, like the other action figure, like this one, and then his metal wings just shattered, and these grew back in its place, and everyone was just like, whoa, how'd that happen? It was a really cool comic book moment. I love moments like that in comic books. I believe his outfit, though, was blue instead of this red, but it still had the halo for when he still had the blue skin. But I feel like I remember him also having the red outfit with the blue skin, but I could be wrong. So I'm probably going to display him with this blue head, just because I think it's interesting. It's like such a really interesting way to display him. Alright, so now that we got him out of his package, now we just have these last two. Alright, so last thing we have to look at is this Wolverine 50 Years Wolverine and Psylocke action figure set. This I picked up not too long ago, and I believe it might still be available. There was a bunch of different Wolverine 50 years anniversary sets that came out. One of them had Sabretooth and Wolverine. I really wanted to get that because the Sabretooth in that set is way better than the one I have. It's bigger. It looks more like him. But they were all based on different storylines. And this one was based on these comics right here. They were from the 90s, the Uncanny X-Men. And what happened in this, you can read this little blurb. What happened in this was Psylocke lost her memories. She was found by the Hand and given the 10 rings, like from the MCU movie. Anyway, she was given the 10 rings and she became Lady Mandarin. And that's what you're seeing here, is her as Lady Mandarin. And she was very evil. Wolverine had to break her out of the mind control. And then poor Betsy Braddock is Psylocke. She went through so much stuff in the comic books. She became multiple different people. They really messed with her. But now she's Captain Britain. She's restored to her original body, which is really cool. Now I do have a Psylocke figure and a couple Wolverine figures to compare to these, and we'll look at that once I get them out of here. Alright, so we got both of them out of their packaging, and we'll look at Psylocke first just because I'm holding her. So The detail on this figure is really well done. She has like these like metal looking parts to her legs and arms. Her face is really, really cool. I really like the way they did the hair color. The hair color is really pretty. And then she has like this rubbery plasticky cape, which that's my least favorite thing about it because it does not want to move. So like it kind of limits her articulation. So her head, just like all the other figures, it's the same type of joint, but it has limited mobility because of that cape. Now she also has the pinless joints, which is really cool. It looks like she only has... Nope, she has the double joint. Okay. It's kind of hard to tell with the way they did these arms. And then she does have the hands that go up and down. They can be removed. Her waist does turn, but it turns here at the joint on her torso. And that also can go up and down. And then her legs have the thigh joint, can go up and down, and are double jointed. And then the legs, or the feet, I should say, can go up and down and can swivel. She does not have any like ankle boot joints like some of the other figures have. But she looks pretty cool. Now, she does come with an alternate head, which is this, and it's very evil grin. I love it. This is probably the head I will display her with. And I love how all the teeth look individual. They're sculpted, just like the She-Hulk. She comes with alternate hands that aren't fists. Those are really cool. And then she also comes with these like flame pieces. They're the same sculpt. And those look like they clip onto her wrists. But she also has her signature psychic knife, which goes around her hand. So that goes on her fist, just like that. So it looks like she's got the psychic knife. And she can use that, put it in like your head and disable you for a while. Because it's just psionic energy. So I do have... this is the only Psylocke figure I have in my collection, and I think it's like the epitome of Psylocke. And there you can see them side by side. They both have the same molded psychic knife that goes around their hand, and they have the similar colors. The hair is slightly a different color, especially on camera. In person, they're a little more similar. But this is like the Psylocke I grew up with in the 90s comics before all this other stuff had happened to her. And I loved this version of her so much. So we'll just have her hang out here. All right, let's try on this alternate head. Okay, yeah, that head is great. She looks so evil. Love that. And let's get rid of the knife and try out these pieces. Which I don't remember this storyline very well. But I'm guessing she was able to use the 10 rings maybe to generate these different psychic knives. I'm not sure, to be honest. Maybe someone can tell me in the comics if they remember this storyline better than I do. All right, now as far as standing goes, let's see if we can get her to stand. All right, there we go. So we'll just put her next to the other Psylocke. She's much taller because she's posed differently, so keep that in mind. I didn't try out the new hands on her, but nope, she does not want to stay up. But I kind of want to, now that I think they would look better with these energy effects. Yeah, I think that looks cooler with that hand. It looks more like she's generating energy, like kind of erratically. All right. Psylocke never wants to stand up very well because of the way I have her posed, but she looks cool that way, so. Alright, so here we have Wolverine, and he's got some very hairy arms. I love that. I wish they would have put some on his chest, but he does have some on his back. So that's kind of interesting. I've never seen them do that. He has like 5 o'clock shadow on his face. He does not look happy at all. So he also has all the pinless joints on him, and he has the double jointed elbows and knees. It's all the same articulation that we've seen before. I really like the way they did this Wolverine's look. Like the hair on his arms and everything just looks really cool. And he comes with an alternate head that I actually like a lot better. So let's pop that on. He's making sort of like a snarky looking face. I like that. Very cool. And then he comes with alternate hands that are just the fists without the claws. So he doesn't come with any open hands. All his hands are like fists. But let's be honest, you're always going to display him with his claws out because that's the coolest way, right? Alright, so as far as Wolverine figures go, this is the one that I think is my favorite, and it's an older one where he's got his brown suit on, and you can see he has the pins. It's like the old style body. You can see the quality on the figures has definitely gone up. And I didn't mention, but both these Wolverine figures have this joint with the arms, so they can be like posed kind of backwards for a really good range of motion. Yeah, I love that. And this Wolverine is from the newer X-Men 97 Marvel Legends, so he looks a little more cartoony. And I love all these Wolverines. Now this Wolverine that I just opened, I'm actually sending to a friend. So I bought the set, and I'm going to give him this figure, and then he bought one of the other 50th anniversary Wolverine sets, the one with Lilandra and Brood Wolverine, and he's going to send me Lilandra because I am so happy. I will have an actual Lilandra figure, so we'll take a look at that in a future video. It might just be a short, but it'll be in a future video when I finally get that one. So you'll have to let me know. It's a lot of figures that we looked at today, but I would love to know which one of the ones we opened today are your favorites. I'm going to get rid of all the previous ones. And here are all the ones we looked at today. If I had to pick a favorite, it's probably She-Hulk, just because they did a knockout job designing that figure to look exactly how she did in the comics. Back in like the 90s, I think it was. I'm a huge 90s comic book fan. And so if there's a toy that looks like the way they did in the 90s, I'm going to be there for it. So you'll have to let me know down below. Oh. What could that be? Let's find out. So we have this Venom figure. Now, these are from AliExpress. We also have a Red Hulk. So AliExpress sells a lot of Marvel Legends, and a lot of them are kind of off-looking sometimes, like just weird combinations of different parts from different figures sometimes. But I saw this, and I thought it was a legit Marvel Legends, but you'll notice it just says Legends Series. It doesn't even say Hasbro anywhere on this box, but it does have a whole thing about Venom, which is spelled correctly. And it's all in Chinese, because these are basically Chinese versions. And there's the barcode. Now, if you read through here, which I looked at real quickly, it does say Hasbro. In at least one spot I noticed it says Hasbro. Yeah, it's right here. It does say Hasbro. So I think this is just like an alternate version that's sold in other countries or something. I'm not really sure. The packaging is totally messed up from shipping. They just ship them in like a bubble wrap in an envelope, which I'm fine with because I'm going to open them anyway. But then, so this is a Red Hulk figure that I really wanted. He was a Target exclusive right at the beginning of the pandemic, when you weren't allowed to go shopping like normal anymore. I don't know if anyone remembers that. I wanted to go hunt for him at Target, but you couldn't even go to the toy section at Target. They wouldn't even let you. You were only allowed to buy essentials. It was really weird around that time. He sold out online, and I never saw him again. Luckily, he's on AliExpress. Now, you'll notice he comes in a bag that just says Red Hulk, and it does say right here, Diamond Comic Distribution, and it does have a barcode, and it says Marvel. He does come with a weird accessory. It looks like a ripped shirt. The original one didn't come with that, but he does have his alternate hands. So let's open him up first. I'm very excited to see how this stacks up. He feels very heavy, so I think he's pretty much legit. Okay, let's take a look. The plastic feels about the same as a Marvel Legends, so I think it's pretty much legit. Now let's see about these joints. Alright, so they seem to be working. He has a little bit different articulation, but very similar than other ones. He does have a waist. His head is on a ball joint. He has the ab crunch. And he has the like shoulder blade articulation. He has the shoulder articulation, the bicep, the upper arm bicep one. He has the elbow and the wrist. He can span and go up and down. And then his legs can go up and down. It does feel a little wonky in these legs, I will admit, but sometimes Marvel Legends feel that way too. So, like official Marvel Legends. He does have the double jointed knees, but that's as far back as they go. And he has the swivel ankle, and the foot goes up and down. And I will say, he looks pretty spot on to what the photos looked like when I first saw this figure, and I just love the Red Hulk. I fell in love with him when he was being drawn by Joe Madureira. I'll put a picture here so you can see like a comparison. He was like hanging out in the Spider-Man comic books with Spider-Man, and I just love the way that he was drawn in that, and I think they did a pretty good job. This looks a lot like that version. I love the way they did the face on this. It's such a cool figure. Alright, let's get him to stand, which is very easy for these bigger, chunkier figures. So he comes with these hands, and it's basically just the alternate hand. So he gets a fist and a gripping hand. He also has this weird piece, which as far as I know, the Marvel Legends did not come with this. I think this was something that came with a green Hulk figure, but it's supposed to be like a ripped shirt. So it looks like he just transformed. It has pockets on it and a collar. It's actually really cool. So I don't know if I'll display him like that, but it does look really cool. And then the hands, they just pop off. Let's see if they pop off as easily. Okay. Yep, that seems about right. All right. And we got that fist on. So, I can't tell if this is a bootleg or a knockoff. It seems legit to me. And a lot of these toys are made in China. So AliExpress often has cheaper versions of them because you're getting them directly from China. And AliExpress has the cheapest shipping ever. I can get things shipped for free practically. Sometimes they are free, sometimes they cost only a couple dollars. I have not figured out why it's like that, but I'm taking advantage of it and getting some of the toys that I missed out on, and I'm very excited to have him. And he can go hang out with She-Hulk. All right, now this Venom was another one I really, really wanted, and I'm hoping that it's legit. So let's get him out of the box. Okay, let's take a look. So you can see the back of him has this because you're supposed to put this on and it bulks him out. I will say this plastic feels a little funky, and that does not want to go on all the way. There we go. Okay, so we got that on. Now he looks super bulky. I will say the plastic does feel a little cheap compared to the Hulk figure. And he doesn't come with any accessories. He only had the back piece with these little tendrils coming off. But he looks amazing. I love the paint job on him. And all the joints so far seem okay. That one's very ratchety. Weird. I don't know if it's supposed to be that ratchety, but maybe it is because he's bulky. This might very well be like a knockoff, but it looks legit to me. He has an awesome face, which does turn, and it can go up and down. The jaw does not close, which is kind of bummer, but the original actual one also didn't have that. He has shoulder joints, which do not want to move on that one arm. So I'm going to not try to force it. And the bicep spins. He has elbow articulation and hand articulation. Waist articulation. An ab crunch. It's all very clicky. You can probably hear that. He has the upper thigh. He has the double jointed knee. And he has an ankle joint that spins, but then his foot can go up and down, and also his foot can turn from side to side. So, I am not mad with this at all. This is an amazing looking figure, and I just want him for my display so that I have a really cool Venom. Looks awesome, and you can see how big he is next to some of these other figures. So, very cool. I'm very happy to have this. I will say his feet don't say anything on the bottom. But if you look at the bottom of Hulk's feet, It does have a printed, it's hard to see it, but you can see some words are printed there, and it does say Hasbro, or it says Marvel 2019 made in China. So so they might very well be knockoffs, but I don't really care. I'm happy to have at least some representation of the figures that I missed out on. So you'll have to let me know in the comments down below which one of these figures was your favorite. We have 8 of them total with the arrival of these 2 today. So thank you guys for watching, and if you're not subscribed yet, please do hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you'll get notified every week when I put up new videos. I love putting up videos for all sorts of toys, new toys, retro toys, old toys. It's all good for me, and I love doing it. So thank you guys again for all your support, and it's been a wonderful year for me, and I hope for many, many more years to go. So take care out there, guys. Definitely leave a comment down below. Love you guys. Bye.